Meeting called to order, 6:48 p.m. Roll call, President Gandhi.
Present.
Director Ghani. Present. Director Khan.
Absent.
Director Salisbury.
Present.
Director Bardwaj.
Present.
Director Denson.
Present.
Director Ogle.
Present.
Vice Chair Science Chakraborty.
Present.
Senator Gurley.
Absent.
Senator Carter.
Present.
Senator Odira.
Absent.
Senator Bedard.
Present.
Senator Mohammed. Here. Senator Smith.
Absent.
And I don't have your last names, I'm so sorry. Senator Chase.
Present.
Senator Sierra. Present. Senator Angela.
Present.
Cool. I entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Vice Chair Chakraborty.
A motion to amend the agenda by adding Senate Bill 003 to new business.
Okay. I entertain a motion to approve. I entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Amend the agenda. Amend. So make a motion to amend the
I
agenda.
make a motion to amend the agenda. Senator Carter.
I second.
All in favor, raise your hand. Okay. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, I entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended. Is Senator Carter?
I move to approve the agenda as amended.
Is there a second? A second. All in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Agenda is approved as amended. I entertain a motion to approve the previous meeting minutes. Vice Chair Chakraborty.
A motion to approve the previous meeting minutes.
Is there a second? Senator Chase.
I second.
All in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Previous meeting minutes are approved as presented. Moving on to director reports because our speaker is not here tonight.
So, yeah, I'm excited today. I got to meet Yoma. He shook my hand. I'm not gonna wash it tonight. Anyway, just kidding. So, Vice President Jaron and Vice Chancellor Chakraborty and I met with Interim Provost Alcock and Vice Chancellor Haig to present the new findings that Vice Chair Chakraborty found about the engineering course fee increase. So for those who are not aware, the engineering course fee increase went from $20 to $90 per credit hour. According to Vice Chancellor Haig, the request came from the Dean Phillip, like any other request who always come from the Dean's office. And then it was presented to the budget committee and it was approved. So according to Vice Chancellor Haig, there might have been a misunderstanding that the fee increase was per course, not per credit hour. And apparently, the chair of engineering department, Dr. Shami, was not for this increase, now you understand. He wanted to increase course fee from $20 to $30, and he had 2 senior engineering courses to be raised to $210 per course, not per credit. So there's a general understanding that faculty were not for the increase for the $70 increase. So it seems that there was not much transparency in the process between the engineering faculty and the dean's office. So it wasn't clear how the process and the final requests were changed. This will be clarified when we meet with the dean itself. Another issue that was brought up was the fact that it wasn't communicated to the students before the fall semester. And also our model, which is a decentralized system model, which means it's up to the deans to administer and to account for all the fees that are coming in. So actually, nobody supervised that, which is a problem. Then we met with Vice Chair Giordano. He gave us some update regarding the Diversity Council. So the Diversity Council is not running yet because it needs to be formalized and they need to look into the chart, what exactly should this committee be doing and such. So this diversity needs to have a structure, it needs to have a composition and everything to be running. So maybe later, somewhere in the summer, it might be running, not anytime soon. So this committee should have a role in what the diversity and inclusion plan is for the campus, and should also be able to address some issues that some students are currently expressing. Then the food committee will meet twice this semester, and the next one will be March 25th from 1:45 to 2:30. I believe Senator Dolly will be able to attend that meeting, and it's going to be in Michigan-Flint. And with that, I yield.
Thank you, President Gonda. My report is basically a letter to Mark Perry, who's a professor here at the university. He recently filed a complaint with the Office of Civil Rights against Wayne State University, claiming that their partnership with Black Girls Code, which is an organization that helps young women of color gain computer skills in order for them to excel in STEM-related fields. And he made the claim that they violated Title IX. So we drafted a letter to him, and I'm just going to read it now. Well, to students, excuse me, let me rephrase that. Dear students, oftentimes we are reminded of the underlying injustices prevalent within our communities, and in these moments, we are urged as leaders to discuss the relevancy of these issues and the obstacles they create in our continued fight for justice. It serves as a reminder to us that our work does not stop and end when a single issue has escaped the media's attention, but rather we must remain proactive in our work to eliminate forces of hate and bigotry as they continue to surface within our communities. Mark Perry, a faculty member here at the University of Michigan-Flint, has recently filed a complaint with the Office of Civil Rights against Wayne State University. In his complaint, he has stated that the nonprofit organization Black Girls Code is in violation of Title IX. Perry went on to make the unwarranted claim that the program discriminates, quote, against young men from ages 13 to 17 who, because of their gender, are illegally excluded from participation in the annual program hosted at Wayne State University. It's a prohibited form of gender discrimination that violates Title IX and WSU's commitment to follow Title IX and the Michigan Constitution. For those of you who don't know, the Black Girls Code Summer Workshop is an event hosted at Wayne State University. The program introduces young women of color to different resources and opportunities in the technological universe, as well as provide them with the computer and machine training in order to improve their skills and inspire their potential STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math careers. The mission is further reflected in the organization's mission statement. Quote, to increase the number of women of color in the digital space by empowering girls of color ages 7 to 17 to become innovators in STEM fields, leaders in their communities, and builders of their own future, through exposure to computer science and technology, to provide African American youth with the skills to occupy some of the 1.4 million computing jobs expected to be available in the United States by 2020, and to train 1 million girls by 2040. Black Girls Code is an organization working to empower young women of color and encourage them to pursue STEM careers as they relate to their long-term goals. Socioeconomic limitations have prevented young people of color from reaping the benefits of access to resources like computer technology. We must eradicate the slander that attempts to justify the realities of the digital divide and that normalizes this limited technological access to communities. Finally, by diversifying the opportunities made available, organizations like Black Girls Code are producing self-actualized women who are utilizing their talents to build better futures for themselves. We condemn the efforts of Mr. Perry, and we reject the notion that an organization designed to support and diversify the educative opportunities for women of color is in any way promoting discriminatory practices. We find that the allegations made by Perry provide no substantive proof of Title IX violations, and furthermore, we believe it is the duty of higher education institutions to partner with local organizations working to provide increased resources to marginalized communities in order to build a more inclusive and equitable workforce. And then for more information, we provided citations to all of our information. And with that, I yield to Director Gunn.
Hi everyone. So name tags have been ordered, private flags have been finalized, as well as food prices. And today we'll be voting on the bill to, finalize that and get that stuff going. MCs have been confirmed, and we're just waiting on judges to now respond back. And I yield.
Director Dodson.
Last weekend, Director Over and I attended the first Students of Michigan committee meeting. The agenda focused on drafting bylaws, where our separate student governments were on the One U campaign, Title IX policies, letter of recommendations and the role of politics in the classroom, and the university's new felony disclosure policy. Ann Arbor actually introduced, and this past Tuesday, they just passed a resolution opposing the new felony disclosure policy. So we can kind of see as a group how we feel about that and see if we want to do something similar. The next meeting for that is going to be March 23rd, and that will be held in Dearborn. The One U Coalition held a meeting today, ended about an hour ago. Today at that meeting, we formed a steering committee that's going to kind of be the ones that guide the entire coalition's next step. So we'll probably get more information out to you soon on that. And then in the news, the NASPA and Campus Vote Project released their list of voter-friendly campuses. And after the work that our organization and a lot of other organizations on campus did this fall, Michigan-Flint was on that list. We were one of 123 colleges in the country and 15 colleges in the state.
Director Ogle?
All right, so after the meeting that we had last week, I shared the document that I had edited of the section 5, which is the attendance and tardy section of the USC for everyone in student government. And I am looking forward to, over this break, actually writing a resolution to actually make these changes official in the USC to present to this assembly, not next week, because next week's spring break, the following week. And I'm also hoping to, since I have some time over spring break without courses, to actually take a look at the rest of the USC and make a lot more changes there with my committee, and hopefully after following spring break, we start rolling out some of these changes and presenting more stuff to you guys on a kind of a week-by-week basis. And with that, I yield.
Thank you. Director Woodward?
Right now, I'm in the process of contacting the university administration and all the departments for student concerns. Hopefully, these are done by March 15th. After March 15th, I'm planning to get the second part of the student survey out. Also, I will be planning with the Student Relations Committee to work on a meet and greet event, most likely in other buildings like Riverfront or French Hall. And this will take place either the March 18th or March 22nd, because there's also some events going on in Riverfront that could attract a lot more graduate students. And if you have any ideas regarding that, please contact me. With that, I yield.
Thank you. And Director Salisbury?
Last week there were some concerns brought up in the board meeting regarding new students and their transfers to Google while the migration is happening. And I've brought that up with ITS project managers. I've yet to hear back from them on that. Then ITS is going to start with like flyers and publication for Google towards the beginning of March, and I'm going to try and work with them on that if I can. Then contacted M Times as well to possibly get a story on Google published, and I will be in contact soon with a writer about that. And then aside from that, I've just been managing social media, creating events for the Trans 101 group, for the Trans 101 event for the incentive program, the Meet the Candidates for the upcoming student government election, and then the One U Coalition we just had today. And then I've also been working on flyers for the My Degree Plan workshop, and I'm trying to get a flyer made for the General Assembly meeting times for this. With that, I yield.
Thank you. Moving on to university committee reports. Are there any university committee reports? President Gonzalez.
So AAAC met. We had the interim provost, associate provost Steve Turner, talk about the institutional review board, which is RB. And the purpose of the RB study is that if the study is being conducted in an ethical, responsible fashion, meaning if the people that are subject to interview are being their consent are being if we're getting informed about their concerns and in the proper way. There's a whole process involved in doing that, like there's an application, and we have Mary Mandeville which is the only staff in RB doing all of that, and she's retiring in August. So they'll be soon looking for someone to replace her. And the question was if they need a full-time or part-time person, because apparently there's not a lot of active research going on campus. But another question was how could we find a part-time person that's knowledgeable of federal regulation? And another question that was raised was how, if we do like the process of the current RB, meaning like the turnaround time in our university, or do we want to contract out just like Dearborn is doing? So nothing is happening just yet because the associate interim provost is gathering information about RB service and to see what can be improved. And in terms of that, the community do prefer how our IRB is currently operating on campus, and we definitely need someone like Mary Mandeville to continue guiding students through the overall process. Then we talked about Blackboard access. Professor G. Stone brought up giving faculty the option to have early access to Blackboard without sending a request to OEL for access. So giving access to faculty means students will be able to view Blackboard and its content, meaning syllabus will be out early and students will be able to prepare for the class before class actually starts. But this doesn't necessarily mean that faculty will assign work before class starts. They just want to, some of them want to just have the option to be able to upload things before we actually have class. But not all faculty agree with that option. So there'll be more discussion regarding the early access on Blackboard and also with OEL. Then we move on talking about the visiting professorship. And for this year, it will be from either the Weingarten or the Thompson. With that, I yield.
Dr. Ragash?
The University of Academic Standards Committee met on February 27th. Most of the discussions were regarding grade changes. There were most of the petitions were approved, and the major discussion was about general credits that are offered. One of the questions that was raised is whether can an advanced course be substituted for any general credit course if the student is taking a 200 level course in, let's say, technology? Can that be a technology course if they are not a College of Arts and Science student, and vice versa? Most of these substitutions were based for capstones because there was a concern that most of the capstones are only offered in few semesters, not regularly in fall and winter. The committee also had a few discussions about how GECC works with defining the process of substitution so that they don't have to overrule the vote by GECC, and if they should take if the GECC should be responsible for reviewing student petitions in case of having additional credits. The process for transfer is defined in GECC. I was not able to find any process for general students who are taking credits for interdepartmental courses. There was one more discussion was if dean can overrule the grade change, and even if registrar denies it. And for 3.6 in the committee handbook, it says that quote, it is normally beyond the power of committee to change a grade unless warranted by obvious circumstances. Example, if the instructor fails to submit an extension for an incomplete grade by required deadline code. And so we were going to be tabling this discussion in the next committee meeting. One of the concerns was also raised that students can usually, under the students' rights and responsibilities, student grievances policy, students can ask for a department to change a grade, and it can be a majority vote in case the instructor has denied it. And the committee was approached by Scholarship Rewards and Special Events Committee if any other committees or even ASC should decide any academic integrity on a student who is being awarded a Maize and Blue or Maize and Blue award. And I think the final discussion was to that the committee should not be responsible of deciding, since it would be conflict of interest of departments as well as the members in the committee. And the next meeting would be on upcoming Wednesday. With that, I yield.
Thank you. Any other university committee reports?
Senator Mohammed.
So I went to the Office of Extended Learning Faculty Advisory Committee Monday, February 25th. So the meeting started out with online enrollment reports and reported an increase because more sections of online classes were offered. And so then we moved on to technology report. So as you know, faculty is moving from Outlook email to G Suite right now. So the reason for that is licensing and cost, and also Gmail storage is bigger. But right now, I think they mentioned that Goldie faculty is making that move, so students will follow after. And the College of Arts and Sciences is working with School of Nursing to offer for a language class online. It's Spanish healthcare for fall 2019, and that should also increase enrollment. Blackboard, as we've noticed, there was a few changes. It looks kind of different, so the plan was to make it more friendly and more accessible. Now we have submission receipts that are available to students. You get an email sent out if you hand in an assignment to assignment link. So you get sent a submission report with the unique code, because they have problems where sometimes students will say they handed something in, and the professor will be like, I don't see anything. And then OEL, Office of Extended Learning, would have to investigate. So to avoid that, you just have this submission report with the unique code. So if there's a problem like that, you could just bring up the code, and then they could probably put it up and make it a lot easier. And then also slight changes were made to inline grader. So Blackboard, they contract with a third party for, it's called box.com for grading. So that's what they use to grade. Inline made some changes, and a lot of faculty were not on board with the change because it was too restrictive. It just made things a bit more difficult. Blackboard pressured box.com, so they changed it back to the way it was. And now professors are being asked to make when they're making content for Blackboard, they should make it more accessible so that any students with any disability can access their learning materials. Evaluation completion rates are down certain percents because a lot of people do start evaluation, but then they leave it halfway, so we never really finish it. And they're just talking about ways to get students to be more, a way to get the faculty to make sure that students do complete their evaluations. And some of them mentioned that they give extra credit, or they just try to kind of make it look like it's mandatory, but it's not really. Just make sure that your students know about it and they do finish it and complete it. And the committee is trying to meet at least one more time before the end of the year. It could be a virtual meeting in case of the weather.
Thank you. Any other university committee reports? No? Okay. I can now close the floor. Moving on to Senate reports, starting with Senator Carter.
No report.
Vice Chair Chakraborty. No report. Senator Beather.
I don't have a report, but I was looking through my notes from last semester's meeting with Dr. Chapat, and I just wanted to remind all the international students that since we haven't appointed a separate ex officio senator to represent international students, but we did for housing, all international students are meant to voice concerns and feelings about international students. So if you do come across something, please bring it up. That's it. How do you?
Thank you for pointing that out. Senator Morris.
No report.
Senator Sturgeon. No. Senator Mohammed. No. And Senator Wayne.
No report.
All right. I now yield the floor to Senator Better to present, or Senator, Sturgeon? Sturgeon, to present Senate Bill 2019-003.
Okay, so Senate Bill 2019-003, a bill to sponsor Plan to Succeed. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
So, Senate Bill 2019-003, a bill to sponsor Plan to Succeed, being enacted by the Senate of the Student Body Assembled. This act may be cited as a Plan to Succeed bill, the student government to support the food costs for my degree plan workshop. The Senate shall budget a maximum of $220 to support the Plan to Succeed workshop. All money not used will be returned to the Senate account.
Okay, I now open the floor to comments, questions, or concerns about this bill. Senator Carter?
What date is this workshop?
Oh, President Ganda.
March 14th.
Any other comments, questions, or concerns? Senator Carter?
I do think that this memo will be very beneficial to the student body as I'm getting in, and I still, I'm not sure how to use my degree plan, so making sure freshmen know how to use it would be especially beneficial.
Thank you. Vice Chair?
Okay, I'll just give you a few more details about this. This will be about using my degree plan. It will be in the happening room, March 14th, 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. It will be a light lunch consisting of pizza, garden salad, cookies, and water. The workshop will be run by Registrar Arnold Karen and a student, India Haggard, and an advisor from the Student Success Center, Maggie. Anything else?
We talked in Senate yesterday about how we're going to be advertising for this. I think Senator Bender had a really good idea about creating some posters.
So I
go
was
ahead.
thinking, instead of doing the usual flyers, we could just go with larger posters and maybe target the freshmen from First Street Residence Hall more.
Because that's really who we need this to.
And once they know how to use it, incoming freshmen can just be like taught.
President Gandhi?
Okay, so this is the very first event of this workshop. The goal was to maybe make it a series, right? For students to be more aware how my degree plan works. But also, Dr. Salisbury was already working on a flyer. I think he has the design already ready on set. I was thinking maybe he could share it with everyone. I don't know if you have it.
Yeah.
Okay. But the problem with this, with March 14 is after spring break, immediately the week after spring break. So I don't know how we're gonna advertise this.
That's kind of the reason we went with the First Street idea of
Yeah.
larger posters. We were gonna do it like First Street, Riverfront, and some of the other buildings. We were mainly gonna focus on First Street and Riverfront.
So this will be done next week, spring break week.
Yeah, we're hoping to send it, whatever design he has, to send it to printing services and get it made.
Oh,
And possibly have it posted either during spring break or the first Monday.
Yeah, because we are hoping to circulate it more.
okay.
President Gandhi?
Okay, I got the bill from EBS for the linens, for the food table linens. So it's gonna be $18. So we probably need to amend the bill to add $20 to 220.
Director, or Senator Bender?
Isn't it already at 20?
Yeah, but the cost of the linen will not in that bill.
So we'll make it 240.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's the flyer, or poster.
we make the fee a little bit larger?
Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
Anyone else want to add feedback on the flyer? Senator Carter?
And, I did agree that focusing on freshmen is important. And we should also not ignore about the other students who may benefit from this.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. President Gonda?
Dr. Salisbury, we can also make, if this bill pass, we can also make, a Facebook event. Yeah.
Also, the week we get back from break, it would be great if everybody could go into their classes and just mention that this is happening. Senator Bennett?
I think Sierra and I were also talking about instead of meeting, trying to collaborate with an RA.
Right.
Trying to make it like an RA's event too. There's a lot of people show up for that.
All right, any other discussion? All right, does anyone want to make a motion to amend the bill? Vice Chair Shepherd?
I motion to amend Senate Bill 2019-003 by $20 to change the amount to a total of $240.
Is there a second? Senator Mohammed? I second. All in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. I now entertain a motion to adopt Senate Bill 2019-003 as amended. Vice Chair Shepherd.
I motion to adopt Senate Bill 2019-003 as amended.
Is there a second? Senator Mohammed? I second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Senate Bill 2019-003 passes. I now yield the floor to Senator Beder to present Senate Bill 2019-004. Four.
So Senate Bill 2019-004 is to sponsor fire pit. Be it enacted by the Senate student body assembled. This act may be cited as a fire pit catering and prizes. Student government to give $15.50 to sponsor fire pit. The Senate shall expend a maximum of $1,550 pay for fire pits, catering services, prizes, and promotional materials. All money not used will be returned to the Senate budget.
Thank you. I now open the floor to discussion. Vice Chair Shepherd, President Gant.
Do you have the breakdown of expenses?
You want to read it real quick?
So foods from Picasso, 300 chicken wings, 200 veggie spring rolls, 200 mozzarella sticks, water bottles. And then for prizes, it's AirPods, TV, Fire Stick, 2 JBL speakers, Nintendo Switch, and its Mario Kart game, and then an Amazon Echo Spot.
For a total of?
The prizes come down to $920. Food total comes to $530.88.
Vice Chair Shepherd.
Do we have enough, or is some more necessary?
Director Nunn.
I would just like to say that in regards to the merch, it is coming out to around $296. So just in case, because based on the order that I placed from the campus merch company, that was with shipping from like a week ago.
I haven't brought that one up yet.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, I think we should also add like maybe $100 or $200 more to this, because, just in case, like, we need any buffer, I think it's better to be safe than sorry.
But President Gambit?
So right now, just by summing up the amount Senator Mohammed listed, it comes down to 1,450 and 88 cents. But the bill says 1,550.
Do you not already have a?
Yeah, you have a room. You have basically like $9.
Wiggle room.
I just feel like a little more wiggle room is better.
Can you, I think there should be another breakdown for fiscal, there should be one for, promotional items like flyers.
Oh. Yeah, the total is $1,500, or, yeah, $1,500.88 with those three categories. So you
That was missing.
yeah, $49.12 buffer,
Okay.
if you want, exactly.
And the total you're asking for is 1,550?
Right now, yes.
Is there any more discussion on this? Senator Carter?
The part that the student government has put on for a while, at least every year since I've been in student government, is a well attended event that makes whole. So it's very popular here on campus, and I believe it would be a very good idea for student government to continue funding it. Yeah.
Thank you, Vice Chair.
So the money goes back to a fund anyway. Any general idea about what we should amend it by, if we're going to amend it?
You're asking for 200? Does anyone have anything? Director Burnett? Oh, sorry. Just your hair.
Any comments?
Would anyone like to make a motion to amend it? Senator Carter?
I move to amend Senate Bill 2019-004 from $1,550 to $1,750.
Is there a second? Senator Mohammed? All in favor, raise your right hand. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. I entertain a motion to adopt Senate Bill 2019-004 as amended. Vice Chair Chakraborty.
A motion to adopt Senate Bill 2019-004 as amended.
Is there a second? Senator Morris?
Yes, sir.
All in favor, raise your right hand. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Senate Bill 2019-004 passes.
So this is Senate Bill 2019-005. It's to sponsor student government swag, be enacted by the Senate Student Body Assembled. This act they decided that student government promotion merchandise, student government to give $300 to sponsor swag. Senate shall expend a maximum of $300 to pay for student government's promotion merchandise. All money not used will be returned to the Senate account, and the breakdowns on year 11.
I now open for discussion. Director again.
Okay, so, in regards to this, I like did the tentative order about a week ago, so I also would say to add maybe $50 to this bill, just to make sure that the shipping is gonna be covered, because as of now, it's $300, which is not much leeway.
Vice Chair Chakraborty.
They'll be coming with our logos, right?
Senator Carter.
This merchandise is just purely to promote student government as a whole. It's not for any.
Any other comments or questions? Vice Chair Chakraborty.
Again, how much more would you like? So the total would be around 350.
Senator Carter.
How will this swag be distributed to the student body? Will we just be giving it away at table?
Director Arnold.
So, we are ordering like 500 buttons, and we're also ordering 250 flashlights. that are really cool because it kind of goes with fire pit in a sense when we promote it, but we don't plan on using all of the promotions that we're buying. In fact, we think that in regards to fire pit, we're thinking just using 50 and giving it to the first like 50 members that attend fire pit. We'll get the student government flashlights, and then anything else will be used for student government events. And in terms of buttons, yeah, that would just be for tabling or during the event. And 500 is a lot of buttons, so I'm excited for next student government events.
Thank you. Would anyone like to make a motion to add the extra $50? Senator Carter?
I move to amend Senate Bill 2019-005 from $300 to $350.
Is there a second? Senator second. All in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. I entertain a motion to adopt Senate Bill 2019-005 as amended. Senator Morris?
A motion to adopt Senate Bill 2019-005 as amended.
Is there a second? Vice Chair?
Second.
All in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Senate Bill 2019-005 passes. Thank you, Leslie. Okay, before I open the floor to any comments, questions, or concerns from senators and directors, are there any from our audience? No? Okay, I now open the floor to comments, questions, and concerns from senators and directors. Director Ani?
I have Senator Smith's report. He met with Dr. Snyder, and she suggested he reach out to Deb Spellings from Social Work Club. He also needs to contact local credit unions and inquire about offers they have for students. Michigan-Flint food pantry will also be opening soon. He will reach out to restaurants and check out which ones offer free kids meals for students with families. With that, you.
For those who don't know what he's talking about, that's for the affordability guide to help with that. Thank you. Anybody else? Oh, President.
Actually, the library committee has set a time to meet, and it's tomorrow at 11 a.m. I need someone available tomorrow at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Yes.
Director Bardowich?
I have a question. How long is the?
The library committee, maybe an hour, 30 minutes.
Okay. I'll let them know.
I can go.
Thank you.
Okay. Meeting adjourned. So,
Nobody move.
Except Sally's brain.
And we're gonna have a closed session. Thank you so much.
What is this?